Let's bring in esteemed geologist, Professor Ian Plimer. Ian, coal-fired capacity grew last year. I thought we were all transitioning to renewables. What's happening around the world?
What's happening is there's a lot of common sense out there. There are developing nations that need coal. We used coal to develop into a very, very comfortable lifestyle. And other countries are doing this. The coal is growing because people are using the cheapest form of energy production for electricity. They're using coal to create steel, and the world is a wonderful place. Now, China has 1,200 coal-fired power stations. Now, do you think buying an electric car will actually make a difference at all? Do you think that a tiny energy country like Australia, by transitioning into worthless wind and solar power that is going to send us broke, do you think that's going to have any difference at all on the planet? This is just garbage that we're being fed. It is common sense. Countries like India and China want to grow. The way to grow is to use coal, and the way to grow is to use a lot of it.
Now, the left insists that renewable energy is growing at a rapid rate, much faster than coal power. But renewable growth isn't organic, is it?
Well, renewable growth is expanding in countries where there are massive subsidies for renewable energy. And the only thing renewable about renewable energy are the subsidies. It is growing because there is an increase in subsidies, and it is growing because there are very, very few Western countries that have decided to destroy very good energy systems and go into renewables. So that comment's a bit misleading. If you go into the developing world, if you go into many parts of the world, renewables are not even thought of. They don't actually count because they're not economic, and you are dependent upon someone else, in our case China, to provide the consumables you need to build a renewable power station. So that's just misleading.
Well, we just had a huge government grant. From memory, it was $1 billion going towards adding to our manufacturing capacity of solar panels in this country. That is a move that has been criticised widely, even by elements of the left, who point out we are not going to be competitive selling solar panels against China when they've got slave labour and we've got some of the highest paid workers in the world.
Well, governments are giving away our hard-earned taxpayers' money, and I have a fundamental objection to that. Governments should not be trying to second-guess which way technology is going to go. Governments are trying to compete, as you mentioned, against a country with very cheap slave labour. Why should we be even trying to do that? Why should we even be trying to remove carbon dioxide from the atmosphere when it is used for growing crops and growing forests and growing grasslands? So we are absolutely kidding ourselves that any action we take in this country will do anything else but send us broke.
Now, The Guardian claims global warming is going to hurt our hip pockets, reporting average world incomes will fall by almost a fifth within the next 26 years as a result of the climate crisis. Ian, is this accurate? Is climate change going to make us all poorer, or is it the greeny policies that we're all implementing that's going to impoverish our nation?
Well, what climate crisis? We are living in the very best time ever to be a human on planet Earth. And this is partly due to the warm climates since the Little Ice Age. This is partly due to coal. This is partly due to the development of an industrial society. This is partly due to capitalism. We are living in the very, very best times ever. What is destroying our quality of life and our standard of living is transitioning from cheap, reliable energy to expensive energy that requires the support of China. There is absolutely no doubt, when you look at figures in Australia, that the actual GDP of a household is going down. And this is due to many reasons, one of which is immigration, but the other of which is our energy policy.
Well, energy is biting, and you see that really across so many Western nations that have gone down this road. Energy poverty is a huge problem in countries like the UK, but we're still having people saying we are in a climate crisis. All these measures we're taking are absolutely necessary, and we should be even taking bolder measures. The Washington Post is engaging in a bit of hyperbole, I would say. They are reporting that the Earth just saw its hottest ever March. Hottest ever, Ian, is that accurate? Did we just have the hottest ever March?
It was much hotter during March in the time of Jesus. It was much hotter during March during the medieval warming. How do they measure it? This is just hyperbole. This has got nothing to do with fact. This is to push the narrative. And if you read the Washington Post and want to believe what they say, then I think you should increase your medication.
I do enjoy your impromptu fact checks, Dr. Plimer. You are always here to set us straight. Professor Plimer, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Rita.